Hello, everyone. I know this is a strange way to introduce myself, but I just don't know how to share who I am other than have you take a look at some of the things that I've created. And I don't like to consider myself an artist. I consider myself a person who loves to be creative. And I've been doing this, I guess, ever since I was little, and I just never seem to have enough time to fully dive into all of the different things I'd like to, but when I do tend to dive pretty hard. So I want to start by sharing with you this 24 by 36. Let me see if I can pull back a little bit. This 24 by 36 oil painting that I did. It took a few months to complete it, and I mainly worked with a filbert brush, a number two filbert, because I really tend to like the details. So then I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. When I started this painting, I started with the people in the car, and then I started working on this person in the far corner, and then I slowly worked my way across, completing each person to a full level of completion before I even moved on to the next person. It was just so I could spend time with each person and develop them, the texture of their clothes, the wrinkles, the shadows, as much as I could. And then I worked my way down to the base. And the reason I think I'm sharing this particular piece with you is because it was one of the first pieces that I did that took me a long time to complete. It was months. I couldn't even tell you exactly how long, but it took a while. It took a while, and I really enjoyed it. It took a while, and I didn't even really clock the time that way. I guess that's why I don't know. I'm not very good at lettering, so I did the best that I could. And yes, it has seen its bumps and bruises through the years. I'm not looking to sell this piece. I don't think anybody could give me any amount of money for it because it has way too much sentimental and educational value for me. And sometimes I get attached to certain pieces. And this particular piece I'm attached to despite the bumps and bruises that it has gone through. But it led me to understand that the level of my creativity is only limited by the level of my creativity. Like, I don't really need to listen to the rules or what people say or how people say I should paint or how I should approach things. I like the details, and I always have. And I find myself sometimes in this current state of mind trying to be loose with my work, but I always get drawn into some pieces that I just want to spend more time with. It's just something personal between me and the piece. And I learned from it. I learned a lot from this piece. This piece taught me a tremendous amount. I mean, I couldn't even begin to tell you all the different things that it taught me. But trust me when I tell you it did. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about patience. It taught me a lot about paying attention to details. It taught me a lot about not worrying about rushing through it and just let it finish when it's finished, And is it really ever finished? I don't think a piece of art is ever really finished. So anyway, that's my 24 by 36 monochromatic oil painting of a picture that I got out of Life magazine. I think I seen this on a billboard or poster or in a movie. Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars. They was driving on a bus, and I saw the billboard, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the billboard from the picture that I painted." And there's a story behind this, but I'm not really going to get into that right now. Other than these people were waiting in line for the Red Cross, they were juxtaposed to this billboard. The photographer who took it for Life magazine had no idea that many, many years later I would see it in a Life magazine and paint it. And I really, really enjoyed it. So from this, I go down to some of these watercolors. And I'm going to try to put some of them up this way so you can see them too. Here's my little moniker. But these right here have a lot of detail in them for a watercolor. Now, are they like, the greatest? No. Are they like the best? No. But for me, they were fantastic, and they still are. For me, they were very educational. Just trying to capture these shadows or the snow prints in the snow, or the taxi cab, and the fuzziness in the background. Those were very epic for me. I mean, these were milestones for me. These wasn't like things that I had gone to school for, because I never took an art class in my life. As much as I wanted to, as much as hard as I tried to coming up in the Bronx, it just wasn't in the cards for me. They gave me wood shop, metal shop. I've told this story like a million times. French, Spanish, typing. I was typing like 70 words a minute before that was okay, and now you got to type literally 1,000. But it was what they gave me, and it's what I did. And no matter who I went to or who I talked to, they would not give me an art class. And I never really pursued art as a career, because I just never thought I had the education. So I worked on Wall Street. I did other things like that for my career life. But I've always painted, drawn, and I'll never stop. So let's continue. Now this one I can't really put up, but let me see if I can. Here's another piece that has a little bit of detail. And I'm going to point this out to you guys. When I painted these, like, that's my daughter's name right there. That's my daughter's name. And if I'm not mistaken, I try to always throw something in there that was related to me, my wife, my family. That's my daughter's first name. That's my wife, my daughter, and myself. And I made it into a fake gallery in Soho. It doesn't exist, but that was how I tried to. I think there's another one that I have that has some of that in it. Let me pull this one up. Yeah, you can see how much I value these things, right? But look at this one. There's my wife's name. She had a little shop she called Anna's Essentials, so I made that. I called my daughter Mocha, so I put that right there. And then there was an art studio back there. But those billboards and signs wasn't really in the scene, but it worked for me. And I love the details. Even when it comes to the fakeness of people, which I was trying to show someone how to do when they're creating people, that you don't have to get all, detailed with things, that you can just put enough information so that it reads people. Let's take another look at another one that has something similar to that. Like, look at this one. Look at the buildings. And see, when you have all of this in a painting, people can't really focus individually on stuff, and you can get away with a lot of, gestural things. You can do a lot of gestural stuff that will read crowds or people without you having to add full detail to them. Sometimes it's just about the shape and the color, and let the mind read it. Like, these bricks aren't fully developed, but you read, well, hopefully you read bricks out of that. Let's take a look at another one. Don't pay any attention to the noise. It's just me knocking stuff over. So you see over here, this is inside the store where the sign is actually reading backwards, so that, people outside are looking in. Like, all of these words are backwards. Again, I'm not really good with letters and stuff, but I had to put it in there in order to, pull a picture together. But I really like the cars in this one. And they're not just gestural. They're really a little bit more detailed than I care to draw cars today. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at this one. Look at that car. Look at those people. You see? And then we come to things like this, which will let me express something else. So here I have this watercolor that I'm gonna, and this watercolor is dated. This watercolor is from 2011. See, the information is right there on the back. I sketched it on 12/4, and I put it to this paper on 12/6, and I did my first wash between 12/17 and 12/18, and then I completed on 12/18. Now that's a weekend, the 17th and the 18th. If you look it up, in 2011, December 17th and 18th was actually a Saturday and a Sunday, and I remember it quite well because I spent all day from morning till night working on this piece right here. And I'm going to show you something else. Just stay with me. Stay with me. I got it out of this book. I had a book on flowers. I'm going to go to the exact page so you can see it for yourself. And that's where I got it from. See? I got the image from this book. And I had ideas. I think there's a page in here that shows a lot of pages. All these earmarks are things that I knew that one day I was going to actually do. Never really got around to it. I'm not sure if I did any more than this one right here out of this book. But I still want to add that darkness. And I'm going to be using this in an upcoming video where I take a 13-year-old painting, a 13-year-old watercolor painting that's on some 300-pound paper. And there's my little moniker right there, see? And I'm going to take a 13-year-old painting and I'm going to go back into it and finish developing this color values in these flowers. This book was kind of lost for me for a long time. But I wanted to share this also. This is how it all started. I took and drew this with pencil. Let me step back just a little bit. With pencil, I drew it in this book. This was first. This was me drawing it from that book magazine, the book that you saw. And here you can see the lines are still undeveloped. But I liked it so much, I wanted to watercolor it. So I took my line drawings before I put all of this in, and I took a Xerox copy of that, and I transferred it to this watercolor paper because I wanted it to be very detailed. And I spent a lot of time, as you can see, on this drawing. And I still have not completed it. And this drawing is actually older than this painting. But I just wanted to show you a progress. See how you can take an idea, develop it from a drawing, from a magazine or from your own photographs, and then you can make it into a watercolor or an oil painting or an acrylic painting. And I just wanted you to see this because it's very rare for me to have all of my references, my drawing, the photograph, and then a painting of it. Which I think is very, very interesting for 13, 14 years ago. Come on, that's a lot. That's a long time ago. So just sharing this little bit with you, I wanted to then transfer over to something like this. Just give me a second. This is like one of my journals, okay? And I'm showing this because while I'm trying to be loose, I still tend to get caught up in the details. I still tend to draw, and this was done with a little bit of a light pencil sketch with more ink, developing the picture as a process, and then I was gonna wash it. But I found myself like really having more fun in the drawing process of it all. And please excuse me, I'm trying to use this camera in my hand and show you stuff at the same time. But I love the details. And you'll have someone else say, oh, don't get caught up in the details. Just go really quickly with it. And I got other stuff in here too, other pictures that I was working on. This is an ink picture over my pencil line. That's another one. But we're not really going to worry about that. I wanted to share this stuff with you, which is, see, here's a very loose drawing. See, this is a very loose drawing. I did that to do some education on the density of colors, but I wanted to share. It's just very loose. See, told you I wasn't good at lettering, not good at lettering. Hate putting them in there, but I try. These are very fast drawings right here. These are like more or less like journal entries. And then here we go with some more. See, these are just drawings. But I love to draw. I really do. I love to draw. I'm going to show you another one in a minute where I got carried away again. These are very quick. These aren't what I consider crazy details. These are just quick sketches, if you will. Okay, now we get into it. So then I come to something as simple as this. And I had to stop because I was going to actually build this entire wall all the way up here with this type of brick format. And I said, stop, man, because you see, I'm getting too, like, look at this one. This one was really a quick, easy sketch, but I got a little carried away with it too. You know, sometimes when I'm drawing, I just go to that place. You know, I just tend to get involved with the picture. You know, tend to have a much deeper relationship with it than I should, when I should be just going for quickness. You know, quick lines, quick drawings. You know, that's what I should be doing. And sometimes I just get caught out there. Let me just show you something else. Bear with me. Let me grab these things. Show you this real fast. I hate having this camera in my hand, but I'm moving around trying to show a lot of stuff. This isn't it. See? Quick little doodles, quick little sketches is where I'm trying to go. See? This was somewhat detailed. I got carried away with that one. This isn't that detailed, but I did get a little carried away with that one. But in here somewhere is another version of this. Okay. See? Even did a video on it. Look at the difference between those two. See? Lots of detail there. Slow drawing, still in pencil, no ink. Straight ink, no pencil at all. Very quickly done. Very similar. And this is what I'm trying to go to today to get away from that. But I can't get away from that. I can't ever just let that go. No matter how much I play with different journals. Like here's a little journal picture I did of a simple brush. But to me, I got carried away. To me, I went a lot further into it than I should have for just a quick doodle level brush. And this was back in 2022. Here's a quick sketch that worked out quite nice for me. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. But then I got to this flower and I didn't even finish developing it because I really liked the way the lines was going. I was thinking about copying this, transferring this to something larger and really, really going hard. So before I washed it, I wanted to keep my lines because once I draw something, the lines are going to go away once I start washing it. So I'm not going to have that. So here's my lines that I can take like I did this or the one in the book and transfer it. And that's why I wanted to show you this. And then we get back to some quick stuff. See, this is all quick stuff. This was very quick. I was in a parking lot. I didn't have a lot of time. I was in like upstate New York somewhere, Brightview. And I went there to do a job and an art job. And I sat out in the parking lot before I left and just sketched the building really, really quickly, threw some washes on there and said, okay, maybe I'll paint it better and more developed later. But look at those cars. I love those cars. I love the quickness and ease of those cars. Here's some more journal stuff. Not really carried away, but yeah, could be. This is some more stuff. You know, so this is who I am. Me showing you all of this. This is who I am. I'm a guy that just likes to be creative. You can put anything in my hand, especially a pencil, a pen, watercolors, watercolor pencils, pastels, pen and ink, you name it. You give it to me, let me spend some time with it, oil painting, acrylic painting. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite subject. I don't have a favorite medium. I just love art. And if what I've shown you shares anything with you is don't be limited to one, how you do your art, which medium you do your art in, and even which subjects. I mean, granted, if you think that sports is your thing and you just want to hone in on that, or race cars, hey, so be it. But maybe in your private time, in your off time, try going outside of yourself. It could bring you even better into yourself, you know, because you won't be limited to any particular. You'll have an expansion inside of you that even if you have a genre that you, one, either love, or two, you get paid more to do as a business or as a profession, you can take some of this other stuff and bring it into your work. And whether you work quick sketch doodles like this, or you go for more detail work like these or that painting back there, you bring all of that stuff into your artwork. So here I am, a guy who never ever took an art class, and all I've done my entire life in and out, whenever I get a chance, is create art through one medium or another. Either while I was on lunch break, while I had some downtime, a weekend, whatever the case may be. Here I'm about to take a 13-year-old watercolor and I'm going to wash it so that I can catch some of this nice fruitful colors and put them into this painting and maybe see how that goes. And I like how my leaves turned out. So I wasn't trying to mimic the exactness. I over exaggerated the yellow and I love that. I'm not changing it. I'm not going to go for these leaves, but I do want to take my flowers to a richer, more darker area because I don't want to be afraid of the dark. You see, I wasn't afraid of the dark here, so I don't want to be afraid of the dark here. This book was misplaced. I have a couple of storage units. I came back upon it. I pulled my watercolor back out from it, took these out to share with you guys, and then I said, okay, I'm going to paint this, and I'll probably shoot a video to let you see it. But when you ask, who am I? This is who I am. I'm just a guy who just loves being creative, even when I'm doing stuff like this. You see, it doesn't even have to be art for me. It could be just experimenting with colors. And I'm very happy. I'm very, very comfortable spending hours upon hours upon hours. And I wish I had the ability to spend more. Maybe I could get somebody to be a patron for me or something, because I work every single day, except Saturdays and Sundays. I should say most Saturdays I don't work, but I work on something every single day. But I try to find some time to do some art. Hold on, I want to share one other aspect of my drawings with you. Let's go to this drawing book. This is when I was showing some perspectives. Okay, this is perspectives, and then I did like a journal, if you will, on a page where I just did a bunch of different perspectives elements, and then I use my markers here. I use my markers, and I have all kind of markers, and I use those to color just a few pieces of the furniture. And then I like drawing. Here's that same picture of those pears in a drawing. And then I also do, or like to do, because again, I don't really care. Here's some wildlife that I drew, graphic pencils, and I have quite a few of them. And I won't bore you with all this stuff, but I do want to share a few pages with you, so you could, this is who I am. I mean, this is, you don't see it in me when I'm talking or I'm walking or even when I'm teaching, because I'm trying to show people how to just be involved in art without having to worry so much about years and years of education. And while it's not a bad thing to have that, I don't think you really need it to be an artist. You just need to have a love for creating. You just need to have a desire to want to do something, and then just do it. So this is a short tour of my studio, just this one little area. Some of my work, and trust me when I say some, this is just like really like nothing compared to what I really have stashed away, stacked up and piled away. But this is who I am. I am just a guy that likes to be creative. And I come from the school of hard knocks. And I've done a lot of repetitive drawing and coloring and watercoloring and oil painting. And that has helped me to be where I am today. It pays my bills to a point. It has me living quite comfortably on top of what I did prior, because I am a bit of a saver. But I really do love what I do. There's a passion inside of me that's far greater than anything I could show you, because I don't think any of this is really worth anything. It's just all a stepping stone to the next piece. And then even after I complete that piece, I'll be looking for the next piece because I'm never satisfied. I don't think that anything that I do is that great or grand. I just enjoy it. And I do know that some people like what I do and appreciate what I do, and that's great. But I'm a much harder critic of myself than anyone could ever be. And I don't think that I've come anywhere near where I'd like to go. I could put it that way. There's a place in my mind that I see my work being, and it's not even close to being there yet. So this is why I spend time doing what I do. And I'm sharing this with you in the hopes that it'll spark something in you to, live your life. You have to. Life is life. Bills have to be paid and stuff. I get that. But if you have any kind of artistic appreciation in yourself, don't give up on yourself, okay? Don't give up on doing something that you enjoy or that you like, because you could find a certain kind of a peace and tranquility in taking a blank piece of paper and turning it into something. And then maybe that'll affect someone else, or someone else will see you, or your son, your daughter, a sister, a brother, a friend, a stranger, and it sparks something in them to want to ignite some creativity. So let's keep the chain going. Let's keep the motion going. If not for yourself, then maybe for someone else, because art is universal. That's one language that is like music. Art is universal. You don't have to speak the same verbal language to at least have the same art language. Okay, how about that? That sounds crazy, I know, but it has a point. But anyway, I'm going to stop now because this is a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to share with you some of my work. I wanted to give you an opportunity to take a glimpse into who I am, so that when someone says, well, who are you and what's your background? I don't have any artistic background as far as I went to the university of this or I graduated from the art school of that. This is who I am. This right here. This is who I am. Even this is who I am. It's a postcard. This is who I am. This is who I am. I am just a person who just has an appreciation and a passion and a drive to just want to be creative. And I think that's a good thing. So on that note, until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.